Hello, this is Jessica Roberts, and this is my presentation on self-censorship. So, first off, why have a collection policy? And my answers here are mostly taken from the American Library Association article they posted in 1998, which lists information about what a collection policy should be. One, I think collection policies ensure that collections can meet the school's needs. That's the ultimate thing that we want to do, is meet those students' needs. Also, it avoids redundancy in the collection, therefore reducing waste and saving money. And then also, in case of complaints, the use of certain items can be more easily rationalized when you have a collection policy in place prior to receiving that book. Now, the first article I'm going to talk about is by Dawkins from 2018, and it's titled "The Decision by School Librarians to Self-Censor." In this article, my apologies, there was a storm. In this article, it defines self-censorship as when a school librarian chooses not to add material to a collection for fear of a challenge. Now, this is either to avoid administration response or unwanted publicity. But one thing this article does is it describes the spiral of silence theory as a possible explanation for self-censoring. So I've made this little graphic here to kind of demonstrate what they described as a spiral of silence theory. And this is when the librarian feels a fear of isolation, the unwillingness to speak against perceived majority opinion, and the belief that public opinion tends to keep people in line. So these three aspects all compose the spiral of silence theory. Now, this article it's a study done to determine the factors behind the decision to self-censor. And they used a mixed methodology. They gave surveys to librarians, and then they went and interviewed some of them after the survey. And they basically kind of got that the decisions to self-censor are largely based on how the librarian expects administration to respond. Now, the problem with self-censorship and why it's important to be aware of your biases is that self-censorship can have many different causes, but the result is ultimately a hindrance on the student's freedom to read. So we're stopping kids from being able to read books that they should be able to read. So being aware of your own biases will allow you to take a closer look at the decisions that you're making, and it'll also allow you to kind of understand how you can avoid self-censorship. Now, what I learned from this article that I found particularly important was that it's all about communication. Librarians need to be actively communicating with administration about the library itself, its purpose for the school, the collection as a whole, the collection policy, and ultimately, again, the freedom to read. So having principals and administration understand the purpose and the importance of the library, you're better able to have them on your side to kind of back up your decision making process when it comes to a challenge on a particular book. Now, this last article is from Kyle. It's called Children's Collection Development, Good Books or Books Kids Like. Basically says that the best books to have in a collection are those with both quality and appeal. Good books will have one or the other. And it says to avoid books that contain neither quality nor appeal. Now, how this will impact my collection development choices, I'll have to take a closer look at what kids are currently reading and what about the book that appeals to them. I'll also have to work towards getting more books with both appeal and quality in the collection. And then I need to be able to market those books to students, as they might not know about the books that are both good quality and appealing. And that is it for my presentation. These are my resources. Thank you again for listening.